Hey Nerd Society, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some of the most intense and unforgettable rivalries between superheroes. These aren't just simple disagreements. These are legendary clashes that have shaped entire storylines and even changed the fate of entire universes. From iconic friendships turned sour to battles of ideology and power, we're ranking the 10 greatest superhero rivalries of all time. But before we jump in, don't forget to smash that like button, drop a comment with your favorite superhero rivalry, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the world of heroes. Now let's get started. Captain America and Iron Man. Starting off with one of the most iconic rivalries in comic book history. The clash between Captain America and Iron Man is a fascinating one, especially because these two are usually allies and serve as the primary leaders of the Avengers. Despite their long-standing partnership, their differences in ideology have often put them at odds, leading to some of the most dramatic conflicts in Marvel history. While there have been several instances of Steve Rogers and Tony Stark butting heads, the moment that truly changed everything was Civil War in 2006. This storyline saw the two heroes on opposite sides of the Superhuman Registration Act. Iron Man pushed for heroes to register and reveal their identities, believing it was necessary for accountability, while the Sentinel of Liberty stood firm in his belief that freedom and individual choice were more important than government control. Green Lantern and Flash. In the 90s, when Grant Morrison set out to revitalize the Justice League of America comics, he chose an interesting duo to be part of the team. Wally West, the second Flash, known for his quick wit and humor, and Kyle Rayner, a relatively new Green Lantern who had never even met his legendary predecessors. This setup created an immediate clash between the two young heroes. Kyle saw Wally as an immature and reckless show-off, while Wally, still loyal to Hal Jordan's legacy, didn't consider Kyle a worthy successor to the Green Lantern mantle. He doubted Kyle's abilities and even his moral integrity. The Thing and the Hulk. When Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and a team of legendary artists kick-started Marvel Comics in the 1960s, many superhero rivalries were built around one simple question: who is stronger? These early stories had a more lighthearted, almost innocent feel, and few rivalries embodied this classic superhero showdown better than the ongoing battle between the Thing and the Hulk. The Rocky powerhouse of the Fantastic Four and the Green Goliath of the Avengers have clashed countless times over the years, each determined to prove their superior strength. Fans still debate who the real winner is, but as Stan Lee himself used to say, the winner is whoever the writer wants it to be, no matter who comes out on top in any given fight. Their rivalry remains one of Marvel's most entertaining power struggles. The Punisher and Daredevil. Arguably one of the most complex and thought-provoking rivalries in Marvel Comics. The conflict between the Punisher and Daredevil is rooted in a fundamental moral divide. Frank Castle sees criminals as irredeemable and has no qualms about killing them, believing the justice system is broken beyond repair. Meanwhile, Matt Murdock, both as a lawyer and as Daredevil, holds firm to the belief that everyone deserves a chance to answer for their crimes in a court of law. Their opposing worldviews are deeply tied to their origins. Frank Castle watched his family get slaughtered in a mob hit, leaving him consumed by vengeance and unwilling to trust the system that failed them. On the other hand, Matt Murdock grew up in a tough neighborhood, lost his father to violence, and chose to fight for justice through both the law and his actions as the devil of Hell's Kitchen. Emma Frost and Kitty Pryde. While ego clashes are often dominated by male heroes, some of the most intense rivalries in comics come from the women of the X-Men. One of the best examples is the long-standing tension between Emma Frost and Kitty Pryde, which stems from their complicated history dating back to Kitty's early days at the Massachusetts Academy, Emma's former school, and a front for the villainous Hellfire Club. At the time, Emma was the White Queen of the Hellfire Club, far from the hero she would later become. Kitty saw firsthand just how ruthless and manipulative Emma could be, and even after Frost defected to the X-Men, the young mutant never fully trusted her. Their rivalry continued for years, fueled by clashing personalities and old wounds. Green Lantern and Green Arrow. While Kyle Rayner had his clashes with Wally West, the first Green Lantern of Earth, Hal Jordan also found himself at odds with another teammate, Green Arrow, Oliver Queen. Their relationship started on friendly terms, but over time, their political differences sparked heated arguments and tension. Oliver, despite his wealthy background, became more radical in his views as he sought to address social injustices, often aligning with more left-wing ideologies. Hal, on the other hand, had a more conservative outlook, which led to numerous disagreements between the two. Their differing political stances created a dynamic of constant friction, with Oliver pushing for change through direct action and Hal preferring a more structured approach. Sadly, much of this intense political rivalry was diluted after the New 52 reboot, where the nuances of their relationship were sidelined in favor of more straightforward storytelling. Cyclops and Wolverine. One of the most common types of hero rivalry centers around the clash between the straight-laced leaders and the bad boys of superhero teams. With the X-Men, a prime example of this is the ongoing tension between Cyclops, Scott Summers, and Wolverine, Logan, both of whom have played pivotal leadership roles in the mutant cause. James Howlett, known for his rough, no-nonsense attitude, has always been the rebellious, more impulsive member of the X-Men, while Scott Summers has traditionally been the level-headed leader, trying to do things the right way. However, this dynamic underwent a significant shift after Schism and Avengers vs. X-Men. Following those events, Cyclops grew increasingly radicalized in his approach to mutant kin survival, whereas Wolverine focused more on preserving Charles Xavier's dream of peaceful coexistence. Namor and Black Panther. In Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, we got a glimpse of the epic clash between Namor and Black Panther. Though in the film, it's Shuri who takes up the mantle. However, Marvel Comics has long portrayed a bitter rivalry between Namor, the Submariner and King of Atlantis, and T'Challa, the King of Wakanda, with their conflict deeply rooted in the politics and resources of their respective kingdoms. Though Namor and T'Challa have been allies in the past, their relationship took a dark turn during Avengers vs. X-Men. Possessed by the Phoenix Force, Namor made the devastating decision to flood Wakanda as an act of vengeance against T'Challa, further escalating their enmity. This brutal act led to a rift that only deepened during their time together in the Illuminati, an organization of the world's greatest minds. Captain Marvel and Rogue. Sometimes a single event can create a lasting grudge, and for Carol Danvers and Anne-Marie, better known as Rogue, their rivalry is a prime example of this. The two first crossed paths years ago, when Rogue was still a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and Carol Danvers had yet to adopt the mantle of Captain Marvel. While struggling to control her powers, Rogue made contact with Carol, holding on for far longer than necessary, which resulted in Carol falling into a coma. During this time, Rogue not only stole Carol's memories but also absorbed her powers and some of her personality. When Carol eventually regained consciousness, she spent years harboring deep resentment toward Rogue. Superman and Batman. Rounding out the list, we have one of the most intriguing rivalries in comic book history, featuring the two most iconic heroes of all time, Superman and Batman. While they are typically portrayed as close friends and powerful allies, both leaders of the Justice League, their occasional clashes have become legendary. Despite their mutual respect, they've had their fair share of epic showdowns, proving that even the greatest heroes don't always see eye to eye. Most of the iconic battles between Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent take place in alternate universes, such as Injustice and The Dark Knight Returns. However, even within the main DC universe, the two have had significant disagreements that have led to intense confrontations, often involving kryptonite and explosive fights. What's remarkable is that after these brutal brawls, the two heroes usually find a way to reconcile, demonstrating the deep bond they share despite their differences. That's it for today, folks. Those were 10 of the greatest superhero rivalries that have kept us hooked over the years. Which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more superhero content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.